Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is this clock countdown to New Year's. I can't believe we're at the end of the year. It's absolutely nuts. The days and the years, they just fly by so fast, especially the older you get. Oh my gosh, it's just crazy how fast time flies. But anyway, moving on to the nails. I am doing all of the nails in the Perfect Black by Glam. I wanted this set to be quite dramatic, and I really wanted the clock that I'm going to paint down to be the center of attention. So I didn't want there to be too many colors, too many conflicting shades of gold or anything to kind of confuse the design. I wanted everything to just be very straightforward and very focused on the clock that's going to be like painted to being, you know, just a few minutes to midnight. So now I'm going to matte top coat everything because I'm going to be doing some hand painting, painting down the clock, and just a little bit of more artwork as you saw. So I'm just going to do a matte top coat. It helps me figure out what I'm doing. Sometimes you can see the glare of, you know, my window and everything that I'm sitting in front of here on the nails because they're so shiny, and sometimes the glare of the light and the windows and everything is just too hard for me to focus on, especially when I need to do detail work like hand painting a clock that I've never done before. So I definitely wanted to bring down the shine a little bit. It's just easier to see. And I am using the Beetles matte top coat. I love this top coat, and I actually finish it while filming this video because I've used it so much. And I do actually have an affiliate code with Beetles. If you do shop from their website, you can use the code watermelonlemon and you can get 35% off. And that is an affiliated code, so if you use that, I thank you so much. I'm actually going to be placing an order literally today because I need more matte top coat. I did not realize that was my last one, and I am out of Beetles matte top coat, and it's my favorite one. So I'm actually going to be placing an order myself. So now I am using the Vettsy potted gel. This is their white shade, and I'm just going to sketch out my design for the clock. So I'm going to be doing one half of the clock on each nail. So as you see, I'm kind of like lining up the nails together. I put a lot of gel here at the sides, and then I kind of like mark down on the other nail where I want the kind of beginning and end of the clock to go. It's just an easy way to, you know, make sure that they line up as much as possible. And when you're doing hand painting, especially if you're doing like a round shape or a kind of shape that you need to finesse a little bit, especially with this design, I'm going to be finessing it and fixing it up and going back and forth between my liner brush and this flat brush to fill it in. It's a good idea to make your design smaller than what you want it to be in the end, because the more you play around with it and the more you keep trying to adjust it and fix it and everything, the larger and larger and larger your design is going to get, which is definitely what happened here. But of course I was planning for that. I'm quite well aware of that phenomenon after doing some hand painting on nails for you know, for a while now. So definitely make it smaller than you expect, because as you play around with it, it'll grow. So I'm just kind of finessing the shape here, going back and forth between my liner brush to just smooth around the edges, and then using that flat, kind of like a packing brush to apply the white as densely as possible. I do actually go in and do multiple layers of the white polish because, not that it's sheer, but you don't want to layer up gel polish too much. I'm sure you know that if you are someone who uses gel polish often, using too much of a thick layer, it won't cure properly, or it can cause it to wrinkle and stuff like that. So we definitely want to be working in thin layers with gel in general. And also because I was working in a thinner layer and this is on top of a very, very pigmented black, you can definitely see through and you can see the black through the white over here. So I definitely go in with multiple layers. I think in the end I did like 4 or 5 layers, because as I kept going and fixing up the shape and stuff like that, there were different levels. You know, some of the previous layers were a little bit lower, and then I did another layer, and just to like smooth everything out, I went in a few times to make sure that everything ended up smooth. And then once I had everything how I liked it, I matte top coated again, because I am going to be doing some hand painting. I'm going to be painting down Roman numerals to mark the numbers on the clock. So I'm using this Akzentz gel paint. Akzentz is a pro-only brand, but you can use any gel paint that you have. Glam has a whole bunch of them. I just don't have one in black from Glam, so I'm using this one. And I'm using a small little brush, and I start off by marking the 6, 12, 3, and 9 numerals so that I can just kind of like gauge where like the center of my nail is going to be. And part of my 12 does end up on the other side because Roman numeral 12 is X11, so, or XII actually, I should say. So the second I ends up on the other nail because it is like broken up. I will admit I had a hard time gauging exactly where to place this. It was hard to figure out the center, and my clock was not perfectly symmetrical, so it was a little bit difficult, but I figured it out. You know, as you play around with it, you figure it out and you make it work. And definitely marking the center of the nail with the first the first 4 numbers is a lot easier. And then I go in and fill in the rest of the numbers. So just 1 and 2, those were really easy. Just a bunch of dashes. And then going in with 4 and 5, and 6 is going to be on the other nail, so we're just going to move on to that afterwards. So I can't believe we are at the end of the year. What is something that you've accomplished this year that you are really proud of for yourself? I know sometimes the end of the year can be a little bit, I don't know, it can be depressing for some people, because oftentimes at the beginning of the year we set these massive lofty goals for ourselves, New Year's resolutions and whatnot, and oftentimes we don't reach those goals, or maybe we do and we're really proud of ourselves. But I think that oftentimes it's very easy to look at the negative and look at the things that we didn't accomplish in the year, maybe different goals that we've set for ourselves that we were super motivated about in January and then kind of fell off throughout the year. But I think it's really important to look at our successes and just be proud of ourselves no matter what we've accomplished. I am so proud of myself for starting this YouTube channel. I started this in March. I did it just for fun because I had no idea like what else to do. I wanted to do more nail art, and I was like, what the heck, I'll just throw it on YouTube and see what happens. And so far I've really been loving it. Starting to build a really great community. I love all of you guys. I love the comments that you leave. I love reading everything, and I'm proud of myself for doing this. It's something that I thought about for years, but I never thought I was good enough. Never thought that, why would anyone want to watch my videos? There are so many other people who do so much better work. But I definitely think that I've improved my skill level throughout this time, and I am also really proud of myself for just doing something that kind of scared me. So share something in the comments that you are really proud of yourself for. So after I had painted down all of the numbers, I wanted to add a bit more gold details, so I am adding the hands of the clock and making it point to just a few minutes to midnight. And now I'm going to I wanted to like outline the clock, make it a little bit more dramatic. I was a little bit inspired by this palette that I have here with like this really intricate kind of frame around it. I didn't follow it exactly because I just wasn't really sure how to do that, but I kind of just go with a random design that I pulled out of my head as I was working on it, and that's something that I am really proud of myself for, that I would like to share. I used to not be the best at like creating a design out of thin air. I've talked about this a few times. I oftentimes needed to like, you know, plan a design ahead of time, and I still do that often. I still plan my designs ahead of time, but something like this where I was just like, let me just figure it out as I go. That's something that I was never really confident in myself in beforehand, and I think that doing this more often, I've definitely built up those skills, and that's something that I am really proud to have achieved this year, and I hope to continue achieving. So I kind of created this random design. I'm a bit out of frame, I apologize. It's kind of like these like gold leaves a little bit. I kind of like used the same technique that I would do if I was creating leaves. I did like a large blob of gel at the top and then kind of like lifted my brush as I dragged it towards the clock in like a swooping motion, and then I kind of did these triangles in between. I made this up as I went along. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna like it in the end, but once everything comes together and I see both sides of the clock together, I think it's interesting. I like it. And then I did a shiny top coat over that, as you saw. I think it came out pretty cool. Now, because I definitely wanted the clock to be the main event, I wanted to leave the rest of the nail design pretty simple. So I'm just going to do a glitter fade. I feel like glitter and a glitter fade that kind of makes me think of fireworks a little bit, which definitely has a New Year's vibe to it. So I decided to throw on some of these glitters, and this champagne gold glitter really matched the gold gel paint from Glam that I used pretty closely, because that gel paint is like a chrome, so it has like this chrome effect. It's not like a yellowy gold. As you saw, it's kind of like this antique gold, and I thought this glitter worked really, really nicely together, and I figured glitter was very, very festive and definitely very New Year's Eve-like. So I'm just using this dotting tool to pick up the pieces, the little glitters, putting the large ones towards the top and kind of fading it downwards. I've done this design a bunch. It's super easy, and if you're ever stuck for design, you don't know what to do for that final nail, do a glitter fade. It works every time, and it's always beautiful. So I'm just finishing that up here. And then for the final nail, what I wanted to do was kind of write out 2025. So first I'm going to top coat. I'm using my top coat from Beetles. I'm also almost finished this one. I did actually finish this one in this video as well, along with the matte top coat. I finished all of my staples in this video. But I guess that's what happens when you use it a bunch. When you use your stuff a bunch, you finish it. So for the final nail, I wanted to write down the year 2025. I actually struggled a bit with this one. This was my third attempt at writing the numbers down because I kept making them too big. But I just used I think I used like a random base coat that I had, or maybe I used top coat, I'm not really sure, to just write down the numbers. Again, this was my first time writing numbers in gels, something that I never thought I'd be able to do. So I was super proud of that, and then I'm just going to sugar that over. I actually did a double cure for this one because I wanted to make sure that I didn't smudge anything. And here is the final set. Because I was kind of top coating as I went along, I didn't do a final top coat, and I did leave the one with the numbers matte so that the glitters would really shine. I love how this set came out. I think it's really, really cool. Let me know what you think down below, and I will see you on my next video. Bye!